Talk no more so very proudly. Let not arrogance come from your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. It is Tuesday, the 3rd day of October, 2023, and it's time for the reading of our devotional thought for today, and I'm reading from the devotional book entitled Truth for Life, and its author, Pastor Alistair Begg. Today's devotional thought is entitled, He Knows, and our verse today, 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 3, and it reads, Talk no more so very proudly. Let not arrogance come from your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. That's 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 3. Alistair Begg writes, Contemporary society is full of examples of what it looks like to celebrate self-assertiveness, human achievement, and a preoccupation with the I, me, my focus on our age that pays scant, if any, attention to God. He does not see, is the assumption, and if he does see, he does not mind. As believers, we are not immune from any of this, for by nature our hearts love to assume that we ourselves are the front of all knowledge, and that we know best how we should think. An inclination towards self-sufficiency and pride leads to some downplaying or even denying elements of biblical truth in their teaching and thinking. In the church today, God's judgment and justice are surely such elements. They're not easy to hear about or to proclaim, but they are central to the truths of the Bible. Paul writes that God will judge the secret of man's heart by Jesus Christ. In Romans chapter 2, verse 16, we cannot hide anything from him, though we are tempted to believe we can. He knows our hearts, and by this Lord of knowledge, actions are weighed. In Daniel chapter 5, we see the Babylonian king, Belteshazzar, discovered the folly of an arrogant that caused him to exalt himself above God and the knowledge of God. In the middle of this great feast celebrating himself, using drinking vessels that have been stolen from the Lord's temple, a hand was sent out from the presence of God, appearing on a wall and writing words of judgment, and Belteshazzar was reduced to a shaking mass. Daniel interpreted the message for him, saying, The Most High God rules the kingdom of mankind and sets over it whom he will, and you, his son, Belteshazzar, has not humbled your heart, though you knew all this, but you have lifted up yourself against the Lord of heaven, and you have praised the gods of silver and gold, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone, which do not see or hear or know, but God in whose hand is your breath, and whom are all your ways, you have not honored. That's Daniel chapter 5, verses 21 through 23. In the end, Belteshazzar had been weighed in the balances and found wanting, and that very night he was killed. He thought he knew best. He did not. It is folly to imagine that God does not see, does not know, and will not act. He knows everything about us, and he weighs our actions. As Hannah knew, and Belteshazzar discovered too late, self-exaltation leads to judgment, but humility before the Lord is the way to life. So be careful not to pridefully declare that you want things your own way in one area or another, and therefore refuse Jesus' kingship over that aspect of your life. Be careful not to live as though God does not know, and therefore refrain from humble repentance. Instead, humble yourself before the Lord, confessing to him what he already knows and asking forgiveness for proud thoughts or selfish actions, and he will exalt you. James chapter 4, verse 10. He knows, the topic of our devotional thought for this 3rd day of October, a powerful one indeed. And once again, that verse comes to mind, For God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. May you find Him gracing you today and not resisting you. And those of you reading through the Bible in a year, Ezekiel chapter 33 and 34, as well as the Gospel of John chapter 16, your reading portion for today. And if you read through these portions given to us daily by Alistair Begg, you would have gone through the entire Bible in a year. Clive Walsh here. May the Lord richly bless you.